Well, it's time for another school year in the Tyler Independent School District, and that means it's also time for another athletic year to begin. And welcome back to another season of Coach's Corner here on TISD TV. I'm Bill Coates, and we're with Athletic Director Greg Priest, who is about to begin his second full season as the athletic director of the Tyler Independent School District. I got that right, didn't I?
That is correct.
Second full season.
Second full season.
You've totally acclimated to being in East Texas now, and you're a busy guy. I know that right now.
It is a busy time, but it's fun. I've enjoyed it and look for another great year.
We're at Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium. We're actually in the video room, which is has been for a number of years of our big board here at the stadium, which delivers not only graphics but highlights, and has been a huge addition to Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium. Now, it's not just about football, because the volleyball season, the girls volleyball season, is also starting up in conjunction with football. It's a fall sport as well. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But let's get down to the business here at the stadium, because high school football is about to get cranked up. And really, I mean, that's kind of one of those times of the year. Doesn't get much better than that, does it?
Sure doesn't. I think it's an exciting time. Everybody's ready for it, and got to have the two scrimmages this week. Coach Holmes and Coach Piskey's done. They got their seasons cranked up and ready to go.
Now the two teams open the season on the road on August 28th. John Tyler will be at Plano, at Clark Stadium in Plano, and Robert E. Lee will play Fossil Ridge in Keller on the night of August 28th. But then on September 3rd, 4th, and 5th, once again, over a decade and counting, the Trinity Mother Frances Kickoff Classic, Football Classic, here at the stadium, and it should be a dandy again this year, shouldn't it?
Yeah, we've got some exciting teams coming, and Classic starts off with White House and Chapel Hill, so should have a great crowd there, and then Lee, Lufkin, and then following it up with that with John Tyler and Longview. So it's gonna be great.
Now that White House Chapel Hill game is coming up on September 3rd. I think all three of those games are going to pack the stadium, don't you think?
We hope so. That's the intent. We want to get people here and try to fill the stands.
The third is again, they call it the Lake Tyler rivalry between White House and Chapel Hill, both of them regular playoff teams. But let's talk about the two Tyler schools on Friday night. September 4th, the Robert E. Lee Red Raiders against the Lufkin Panthers. That's a great rivalry. You've come to know Coach Piskey very well in the 2 years here. I know he and his coaches are working awfully hard to get this team ready.
They are, yeah. Just being able to make the playoffs last year, make that run, we're just hoping they can follow that thing up. And you've got Zach Hall. As long as they've got him, they're going to be pretty good. But they've got a lot of talent on that team. They
do have a lot of talent on that team. Of course, the defense is working to get better this year. But Zach was such a dynamic player last year, and you observed it at Baylor in your years there as a golf coach and being a part of that athletic department. Football success in football in this state sort of fuels everything else, does it not?
Well, it does. It drives the bus, and when they're successful, it gets everybody excited and gets the entire faculty and the community excited. So we need a good season.
Need a good season. And of course, John Tyler, we've come to expect it from JT, Coach Rickland Holmes and his guys, with a cross-town, cross-county rivalry, if you will, on the night of the 5th. Again, I love Lee and Lufkin. Those are great rivalries. You can't get any better than that. And the same thing with John Tyler and Longview. All those schools have a great history with each other. But again, Coach Holmes and the Lions, just a regular playoff team. I mean, we've come to expect it from them. They got all the way to the state semifinals last year. Some new guys coming. New guys, they're having to break in this year, but we've really come to expect it from JT, haven't we?
Yeah, Coach Holmes has done an outstanding job over there, and came up a little short last year, but I know that they're reloading and getting ready again this year. So, they're gonna, when Coach King comes in with Longview, I know that's gonna be a battle.
Now let's talk about tickets for that, because it's my understanding, and it's always been maybe the best entertainment value in East Texas, but one ticket gets you 3 ball games.
That's exactly right. One ticket. Just come and trade the other one in, and they're all general admission. So yeah, it's $10, and come and hopefully we can pack it.
Now, if my elementary school math serves me correctly, $10 for 3 football games, that's $3.33 a game. Yeah. That's pretty good deal.
It is, yeah. It's a great value, and but like I said, we've got three good nights, and so it should be pretty good.
Now, also, where can they tell them how they can get those tickets?
Yeah, you can get tickets at the athletic ticket office, but we also went online this year, so you can buy the tickets online by going to the TISD website and clicking on for the tickets, but you can actually purchase them online.
Now, our season ticket sales for JT and Lee, do you still have that available?
We've already had our season ticket sales, so now we're just individual ticket sales. Okay. So you can get those. Actually, you can purchase them now at the ticket office, or you can still go online.
You do it game by game, though,
you
right?
Go game by game.
So
yes,
it's a season ticket in effect. It's just a game by game. You can buy all 5 or 6 home games as you go then, right? What does a typical game night general admission ticket cost here, just for folks who are not aware of it?
Well, you have 2 different ticket prices that are set by the districts. I believe John Tyler's are $8 and $7 for reserved and general admission, and that's at the gate. And then I believe Robert E. Lee's is $7 and $5.
Okay. Now, also, you've mailed out, or in the process of mailing out season tickets. Do you do that some, or they can come pick them up, right?
Season tickets have been mailed out for the ones that chose the mail route, and then also if you chose to pick them up there, that you can pick them up right now at the ticket office. So that we've been doing that for the last couple of weeks.
And the TISD athletic office is in the Platter complex, so it's very easy to find. Before we get back into football, let's talk about, it's not just about football in the fall. Volleyball season is underway too. The girls, in fact, started before the guys, did they not?
Yeah, they kicked it off this past week, and I know Coach Shirley over at Lee's, the new coach there. Their opening game was on Tuesday against White Oak, and then they played in Longview in a tournament, and then Coach Derritt over at John Tyler, they played at Carthage, and then they were at Van this week in a tournament. So it is underway, and I know that they're building, getting ready for district openers.
All right, so tell me about Coach Shirley is new at Robert E. Lee, right?
Yes, sir.
Tell me about Coach Shirley.
Yeah, we're lucky to have her. That was a good hire for us. She was the head coach at TJC, and just fortunate enough to be able to get her.
So you stole TJC's coach? Wow.
Yeah.
You feel bad about that, I'm sure, don't you?
I do, and I'd made a call to Tim. I'd actually made a call to Tim Drain, and just to see if he could, if he would mind if I gave her a call, just to see if she could help us find something. And as we started talking, she's got 6 kids, and as a college coach, a lot of travel, and that was something she was interested in. So it was pretty good. It was a great hire for us.
I was going to say that's good. Well, let's talk about you again. For folks not familiar, Greg this is his again second full season as our athletic director. Already made a lot of positive changes that we'll talk about in just a moment. But let's educate him again on your background. You're an East Texas boy,
yes,
but you've taken a roundabout route to get back here to East Texas, haven't you?
I have. Yeah, I've made. Grew up in Canton, graduated from Maybank, and then started out coaching in Texarkana and TJC, and then went to Sam Houston, to Texas, to Baylor, now back to Tyler.
Now, and you coach golf. Talk about that. Yeah, your background as a coach.
I did, yeah. I coached for 20 years, and it was 18 of those years was in college golf, and it was a great run. I enjoyed every minute of it, and got to travel the world and coach a lot of great players and meet a lot of great players, and but it is great to be back in high school athletics.
But didn't that recruiting grind at some point also? You talked about Coach Shirley a little bit. You got young kids too. Wasn't that part of what enticed you about public schools?
Well, that's what it is. I mean, I was, when you're college coaching, it's a lot of recruiting, and not only your season, but you coach basically year round, and I've got a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old, and you kind of. You put other kids first, you put your team first, and your kids always get put in, they always come second, and I just decided that was not how I wanted to do things, and wanted to put that back, put my focus back on them and be a dad.
Having said that, there's a ton of time, maybe you're not out recruiting per se, but just talk about the time and effort. Let's focus on football here, that these coaches put in this time of the year to do their jobs
Yeah.
and try to make these football programs the best they can
It
be.
is. It's a lot of hours. Just being a coach in general, and that's even volleyball. I mean, they're going through 2 days, and both of them, and it's a lot of long hours, and you have to be dedicated. But this is what we're here for. We're here for the kids, and so you got to have a passion about it. And you want to motivate those kids, but you've got to be able to be all in if you want to be successful, and that's what we're trying to get. Make sure we get good people that are here for the kids.
This fellow is Greg Priest, the athletic director of the Tyler Independent School District. What makes coaching different? Why are people so drawn to it? What's different about the job?
I think the competitive drive. If you grow up around sports, I think just being a competitor, but wanting to teach kids. I think that's a big part of it. But I think that's probably your biggest motivation is you enjoy sports, and you have to have a passion for it. But it takes a unique individual to want to do it. There's a lot of people that are great coaches from the stands, but I don't think they really realize how much effort and how much time and commitment goes into everything that coaches do.
I've always said that I think coaching is unique because in most walks of life you think you're doing a good job, but there's no scoreboard necessarily on a day-to-day basis, right?
That's right.
On a Friday night here at Rose State, Trinity Mother Francis Rose State, there's a scoreboard down on that end, and it tells you, in some ways, how good a job you did that night, and that makes it kind of unique, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah, it does. It just takes a unique individual to want to do this, and you just have to. You just got to have it. I mean, you really do. I mean, you've got to want to be able to teach fundamentals, and you're with those kids a lot, through practice, and so people don't always see what goes on in practice and how hard the kids are working and who's giving the best effort. But it's more, it's all about, seeing everything, seeing the big picture.
What impact can a coach have on a young person?
Well, I mean, we're trying to instill, very few kids, you hope all of them do. I mean, a lot of kids want to go on and play college and probably have aspiration to play in the pros, but very few of them, are going to make it at that level. And so, they're there to instill life lessons that are going to carry them on when they get out of school, and so something they can use in life. And so teaching accountability, sportsmanship. All those different things. I mean, we want to teach life values, life lessons to them.
Yeah, it's teamwork, all that stuff. I mean,
trust. There's so many different things that a lot of kids don't have. Maybe they don't have a dad or a mom at home, and that's somebody that they can really count on, and that they can turn to, that gets them through. To somebody they can always turn to, and when they get in tough times. And so, I thought a lot of my high school coaches that I had, and it was just those guys that I played for, that when I was growing up, I always knew I wanted to be a coach, and so I think they have a huge impact on kids' lives.
Do you believe it's a job or a calling, or both?
I think it's calling. I don't think I've ever looked at it as a job. I think if you're enjoying what you're doing, it's not a job. And I think all the years that I coached, I never felt like I worked a day. So I think it's a calling.
Yeah, I believe that too. My wife is in the education business, and you get teachers together, coaches, and they can even not be nowhere near school, but it takes them maybe 5 minutes and they start talking about they just gravitate to it, can't help themselves. And that must mean there's a passion. There has to be, doesn't there?
Yeah, it is a passion. And because you have to have it, because it is. There's so many hours, there's so many things that goes into it, of breaking down film to just everything that goes on in coaching. I mean, you've got to have the passion to do it. And I think when you lose it and you don't have that passion, that's when it's time to get out. Because I think you have to continue to grow as a coach. The kids are changing. The kids are not the same as they were when I grew up, as probably when you grew up, and so you have to adapt. There's a lot of things you got to do to stay ahead of the times.
All right, let's talk a little bit about facilities. Now, there's not a ton that's new here at Rose Stadium this year. Right now, is there? But changes are probably coming. But right now, they won't see too many changes here at this facility this year.
We're definitely going to try to make some changes here at Rose, and because it definitely needs it. I think the eventual deal is you definitely want to get a press box and make the seating, better, but we'll start making some changes here, but right now it's kind of small cosmetic things.
Let's though step across the street to Mike Carter Field. You have some serious changes in the works over there, do you not?
Yeah, hopefully at some point, that's coming. We talked about making some major improvements. We made some improvements last year with the dugouts, but we have the possibility of adding turf there or synthetic playing surface. So that'll be a huge improvement. And so hopefully, we're kind of in the process of doing that and taking the bids so if we're able to do that, it's going to make that one of the premier baseball parks in all of East Texas, so it's going to be a really special pay for everyone.
What would it do if let's say that you get approval and that happens? What kind of benefits would having the synthetic surface over there?
Well, you've got three. Having TJC, having Lee and John Tyler. That puts a lot of stress on grass, and so. And we just don't have the manpower to upkeep it at a high level,
right.
To keep it, a great playing surface. So I think, it gets a lot of wear and tear, so I think that'll accommodate that. But also it'll just attract a lot of playoff games and just allow us to host a lot of games. But it'll look out just amazing.
Can you tell us a little bit about when you get a playoff game, how does that work? You charge a fee. How does a play either here at Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium, Mike Carter, your gyms? How does the mechanics of that work, and what does it do?
When playoffs start rolling around, schools are going to start looking for playoff sites, and so they, some of the schools will call and try to schedule when football comes around, they'll start scheduling this, and they'll call, and once the two schools agree on it, then we pretty much do a turnkey. Run everything turnkey and take care of everything, and so they pay a fee to come in and play, and we've got an outstanding staff. I mean, our guys that work for us at the stadium over at Mike Carter do an outstanding job, and so we do a really good job of hosting people here, and it makes people want to come back.
In an average year, how many playoff games do you think we'll get here at Rose Stadium?
I think last year we probably had around 8.
Okay.
I think somewhere probably around there. We want to host as many as you can, and I think it all depends on how the districts line up, have affected some of those things, but just depends on who wins and different things. So there's a lot of different factors that can kind of play in there, but for baseball, we hosted several games this year, and I think if we get if we're able to pull off what we're looking at, it's we're gonna be able to host a lot of games, and then also a lot of stuff during the summer. There's a lot of teams that want to come in and play, and so I think we'll be able to bring in some revenue. Other
facilities upgrades. Let's start with the tracks at both high schools. You've done new tracks at both places.
Yeah, both tracks needed to be resurfaced, so we've put in Lee's is actually finished now, or kind of in the final stages, and then John Tyler's is coming on. They're kind of trying to finish up right now, but yeah, we've needed that, so we needed to get 2 new surfaces and to provide a quality facility for everybody.
And they're red and they're blue, right?
Red and blue. Yeah. They're going to be nice, and so I appreciate everything. Dr. Crawford has been unbelievable, and he's a huge supporter of athletics, and so he wants to make sure that he gives us everything we need to be successful.
And he's an old baseball coach, so he knows, and an old football coach too. He knows a little bit about what he's talking about.
He sure does.
All right, and at John Tyler, you were showing me a picture before we went on today of the newly resurfaced floor in the JT gym. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, it looks great. They have not had that thing resurfaced in a long time, and so it'll really brighten it up, put new graphics on there. So I think we'll be able to get onto it Friday.
Okay.
It's the first time you can actually step on it. So hopefully that next volleyball game will be next week. So they would open up on it. So I think that's going to be pretty neat. So hopefully people will come out and see it.
Let's talk about other facilities. Now they're new, and I guess it affects athletics. You've got the new 3 Lakes Middle School.
Yeah.
Newly done Boulder and Moore, right? Those three right now, right?
Yes.
Those are the three middle schools.
Yes.
Talk about the athletic facilities, can you, as it relates to those schools?
Man, they are nice. They really are. They've done an outstanding job. I mean, Tim Loper has really had his hands full.
Yeah.
We're trying to open up those three schools, but just the gyms, both of them have two gyms, and I think they hold like the main gyms hold around 1,500 people, and
really?
the back gyms about 5, and so they're nice. And then, but it was really good that we were able. They each have their own football stadium, and they're all synthetic turf. And so if anybody gets a chance to see those things, they are really nice, and I think it's something that can attract a lot of people coming back to TISD.
Well, now, will Three Lakes start playing sports this year?
Three Lakes starts, yes. They're taking place.
7th and 8th grade?
7th and 8th.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're going to crank right up first year, right?
Yeah, they're going to start up. We've been trying to get ready for that, and I think we've put a good staff together, and so it's exciting. We have a lot of new things going on.
Yeah, people don't understand the challenge of scheduling that you guys face, because it's not about just JT and Lee and these football games on Friday night. Give me an idea of the scheduling with the middle schools and the high schools and all the sports, the jigsaw puzzle, if you will, that you guys have to put together every year in terms of scheduling.
Our middle schools play each other, and we're trying to branch out a little bit and play Lindale and Jacksonville and White House a little bit, but we're playing each other, and so when you've got 6 of them and trying to put all those volleyball games together, and then you're using, we're having to use Rose and Lee and John Tyler Fields, and putting all those things together. It gets pretty entertaining at times when you're trying to put all of it together, and it takes some work.
Who does all the scheduling? Who handles all that?
For the middle schools, it's us.
Yeah.
So we're kind of in our office. We're kind of working on that and trying to make sure we're accommodating everybody, and changing, making all the changes that are needed. And we're going to try to play a couple of games over at Three Lakes this year. So it's been an experience, I can tell you that, and kind of being in my first year. Last year I kind of inherited everything, but this year, really getting to dig in there.
Put your stamp on it, right?
That's right.
Let's talk about some of the new coaches in the district. Maybe not have time to go over all of them, but just highlight a few of the new faces that will be running the programs this year.
Girls basketball, we've got Jaquetta Brown. She'll be our campus coordinator. She came from Warren High School. She's at Lee.
At Lee, okay.
Yes, she's going to be there, but she came in from Warren. She also coached with Coach Coleman down at Kilgore.
Okay.
Won a state championship at Llano, so she's got some good experience behind her, and then we got James Boxley, who came in for baseball. James came in from Stephenville. He's not coaching football here, but he coached football and baseball there. Was part of a state championship football team, and also been at Forney. He played for a state championship in baseball at Forney, so we're excited to have him. And then we've got a new swim coach, Jason Petty, coming in from New Mexico. So hopefully he can continue that tradition with the swim team. And new track coach at Lee. D'Amica Jones was at Livingston.
Okay.
She comes in, was a great college athlete at Houston, ran track at Houston and OU. So I think there's probably a few more. We've got a lot of people. So it's going to be neat.
Is the John Tyler head coaching situation not much has changed over there this year, has it?
Yeah, the only thing that's changed over there is I guess softball.
Okay.
And Tammy Childers will take that program over this year, and so but all the main sports, they're pretty much intact.
And Coach Holmes got married this offseason too.
He did. Yeah, sure did.
I haven't seen him, but I'll have to give him a little grief about that. I guess you were there, right? You were at the wedding?
I did not get a chance to go to the wedding.
I didn't either.
So.
My invitation must have gotten lost in the mail or something. But he's settled down again, I guess, a little bit, right?
Yeah, he has. So.
We'll give him some grief about that. Is that okay if I do that?
Yeah.
The biggest issues, in your opinion, right now facing athletics in Texas, because that's always a big, what's out there that people need to know about that you deal with on a daily basis?
Well,
I know it's always funding. Having enough money is always, it's always, money's always an issue, right?
It's always funding, and we need to continue to, we've got a lot of stuff that we've got to do here. We've been able to make some progress on upgrading our facilities, but we need to continue to. There's a lot. We got a long way to go. But just there's several issues out there. From transfer rules to the concussions. There's so many different things that are out there that are on the forefront that that we're working on out there. So
I've heard that. I read a story in the Dallas Morning News. They did an whole series on the transfer thing, and that can get pretty fuzzy at times, can't it? I mean, there have been rules that have been massaged in districts all over Texas for a lot of years about that.
That's correct. Yeah, and that's one of the things we're trying to get a hold of here, and just making sure we want all of our teams to be successful. We want John Tyler and Robert Lee to be to win state championships, but we're just going to do it in the right way and make sure the kids where their zone to go is where they're attending school.
Yeah, people ask about the attendance zone thing at the high school level. What can be done about that? What's the policy on that going forward?
I guess until we get direct feeders, it's always going to kind of be an issue. Yeah. But once we kind of, we're working our way towards that. But for right now, it's kind of, it's just kind of part of it, and so now it's just kind of monitoring and continuing to just make sure the kids go where they're supposed to go.
Well, yeah, because I know even Three Lakes is going to feed both high schools, right?
Yeah, Three Lakes will have part of, when some of the kids from Stewart are going there. So yeah, I mean, it's probably about a 70-30, 70 to Lee and 30% to John Tyler, and then which is the same as Moore. And then you just have a couple of other little pockets like Hogg, maybe around 50-50. Okay. So it's just making kids understand what they have to do, but once we have a policy in place, and once everyone gets used to it, then I think we'll be okay.
Let's get back to the last couple of minutes that we have. Let's talk again. Plug the Trinity Mother Frances Kickoff Classic again on September 3rd. You got a couple of out-of-district teams out here, White House and Chapel Hill. But just talk about what a fun night that should be. That's a Thursday night ball game too.
Yeah, they kick it off on Thursday, and I've not had the opportunity because last year it was not a classic game and it was just a regular game, and we were out of town with our teams, and so I've always heard it's a great night.
And then Friday night it's the fourth Robert E. Lee against Lufkin. Saturday night John Tyler in Longview, and again a $10 general admission ticket will get you all three balls.
Get you all three, yes. You take your ticket, and if you go to the first game, you can bring that one back and trade it in for a general admission ticket to the others.
And one other thing, we're not ready to announce the class, but the 2015 TISD Athletic Hall of Fame class will be introduced here on the night of September 11th when JT and Lee play here. Just one thing that we might want to get the word out. We this year had to encourage people to get us some nominees from Emmett Scott, the former Emmett Scott High School. How do people nominate somebody to be in the Tyler Independent School District Athletic Hall of Fame?
Yeah, you just need to go to the TISD website, and there you can find the nomination form. But yeah, this will be the third class, and I think as people know that we have it and it started, I think it'll continue to grow. So we just need to continue to get people to nominate or put nomination forms in, and once we do that, it's going to continue to grow.
Yeah, and again, we try to recognize every year a Lee, a John Tyler, a former Tyler High School, and an Emmett Scott High School. And they have had a great athletic tradition and a contributor. So again, tylerisd.org, the athletic site, and then you can make a nomination. Again, the Kickoff Classic is September 3rd, 4th, and 5th here at Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium. For Greg Priest, I'm Bill Coates. Thanks for joining us.